After getting hammered by the right for calling Paul Ryan's plan to overhaul Medicare right-wing social engineering, Newt Gingrich apologized last night, said he would have voted for the Ryan budget, and of course, blamed the media.
I made a mistake. And I called Paul Ryan today, who's a very close personal friend. If you go back and listen to the question David Gregory asked me, I should have said I'm not going to answer it. It's a hypothetical baloney question that had no hope of happening. The Republicans don't control the Senate. They don't have the White House. They can't do what Obama did.
Stuart Rothenberg is a contributing columnist for Roll Call and editor of the Rothenberg Political Report. And Charlie Cook is editor of the Cook Political Report and a political analyst for the National Journal. Charlie and Stu.
Back together again.
Back together again. Stu, you had a quote this morning in our Today Show coverage where you said we're watching a candidacy implode as it's getting out of the starting gate.
Even before the candidate got out of the starting gate.
It is. I don't think anybody thought Newt Gingrich was going to be the nominee.
No.
But is he even going to be a factor?
Now it's unclear. This wasn't a launch. This was the anti-launch. This was the opposite of what any candidate wants. He made a mistake. He made a mistake in answering the way he did or thinking what he thinks. And that's the problem. And nobody rushed to his defense. Everybody criticized him. This is a guy with, there's no army of support behind him. He's a very tenuous position.
Charlie, that's what struck me. You know, Mitch Daniels has made some said some things in the last 3 months that have not made conservatives very happy. They've given him a pass. Newt got no pass for this, what he's trying to say is a verbal gaffe.
Well, I mean, you said that Mitch was given a pass. You see, the thing is, I think Newt has a past with a P on the end. And the thing is, he's an enormously bright, creative guy with lots of ideas, some of them good, some of them not so good. But the thing is, I think there are a lot of folks that expected, and people who like and respect him, who expected that this was going to have a horrible ending sooner or later. But I think this was just an itch that Newt had to scratch.
Right. Yeah.
That he just had to get a presidential race in.
You know, here's some footage I want to show you of a voter he talked to yesterday, which may be the most devastating, devastating moment I've ever seen for a presidential candidate. Take a look.
What you just did to Paul Ryan is unforgivable.
I didn't do anything to Paul Ryan.
Yes, you did. You undercut him and his allies in the House.
No,
You're an embarrassment to our party.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Why don't you get out before you make a bigger fool of yourself?
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I was just... this is a guy who I thought had star power. And in fact, what was interesting about, and so you think when you have star power, you get some sort of respect.
He was Speaker of the House. I mean, he's had ups and plenty of
Second
downs.
in line to the presidency,
yes,
by the way.
But he was and everybody acknowledges he's kind of a big thinker. People look to him for new ideas, but as a candidate, it's a little different. He's not, I always thought he was better talking to a think tank or a university audience than he was talking to voters, and we see what a real voter thinks.
His friends, people who really cared about him, there should have been an intervention. And say, Newt, don't do this. You know, life's great. Life's good.
You paid off your Tiffany's. You paid off your Tiffany's debt now.
You know, don't do this. As much as you don't do this. Right. It's going to end badly.
I want to talk about somebody you wrote about this week, because you had the same conversation with yourself in this column that I think a lot of us are having, and that's about Jon Huntsman. Is he a serious player? Is he not? Is this a guy that can get the nomination? Can he not? We just found out today, interestingly enough, they're going to have their headquarters in Orlando, Florida. Now, an aide tells me that's where his wife's from. You know, he's got ties to Florida. It's far away from Salt Lake City, apparently, as you can come, and of course, Beijing. Jon Huntsman, so what did you conclude?
Well, you know, you start off, he's good looking, he has a good resume, he was a successful governor. There are a lot of things to like about him, but when I looked at his positioning in the race, at his connection with Barack Obama, at his some past comments about things like carbon, cap and trade, civil unions, it almost looks like a team of political strategists got together and said, you know, we can create something out of this, and this has got the media will like this guy. You know,
total media.
Right. Yeah. He's smart, and look at this resume.
We could make some money on this deal.
I'm just not sure real voters will be attracted to him.
You know what's interesting? The folks behind him right now are the early McCain guys. The McCain 2000, a lot of those folks.
Who have no place else to go.
And the first round of McCain folks before McCain had a what does that tell you?
They're looking for a horse. And he's the horse they could find. Look, the thing is this. First of all, look at his home state.
You don't take it seriously.
Not zero.
You think zero. You have him.
You look
you
at his
say
home state.
Herman Cain. Who's got a better chance at Iowa, Herman Cain or John Huntsman?
I think they both have exactly equal chances. I mean, the thing is, you look at his home state. Mitt Romney beats him by 30 points in a state that I don't think Romney's ever lived in.
And Huntsman was governor, a popular one.
Yeah. You say, how do you explain joining the Obama administration to a party where 45% of Republicans don't think the man is an American? How do you sell that? How do you explain that? And don't give me the government service line. I just don't think this thing makes any sense at all.
Remember, apparently there are these gushing letters that he wrote to President Obama about how brilliant the president is. Right. That's just not going to play well with Republicans.
Let's go to something that actually tells us something about a candidate who may be the nominee. Mitt Romney, $10 million in one day. As much as everybody wants to say, oh, Mitt Romney's got this problem, that problem, this problem. $10 million in one day. Can any candidate currently in the race, Charlie Cook, in this quarter, raise $10 million?
Well, first of all, nobody else in this race has run before. And so the thing is, I would ask you, how many of those contributors didn't contribute last time?
Fair enough.
And what percentage of them are women? And I mean, I don't think that Mitt Romney is going to end up with any support that he didn't start off with, and that he just doesn't grow any. He's got a donor base from, he raised, what, $65 million in the last campaign? He can draw on those people. These other guys don't have that.
Well, there's $50 million sitting on the sidelines waiting for Mitch Daniels. But if he says no, it could go to, it's going to look for a home.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I know for a fact there were Barber contributors, people who thought of themselves as Haley Barber contributors, who now said, now what? And they're looking over the field. They're going to look at Mitch. And Mitch is getting great press now, and there are a lot of things that Charlie and I, I'm sure, both really like about Mitch. But again,
rollout warning though to Mitch. If he is going to have, he doesn't get to do what Tim Pawlenty gets to do. He doesn't get the, Walter Shapiro has that great book, One Car Caravan.
Yeah.
Mitch Daniels' first day is going to be like Bush's first. Remember Bush in '99 in Iowa, where he had a press plane already? Barack Obama, is he going to be ready?
Yeah, well, if he announces, there'll be a different level of scrutiny from that moment on.
Charlie Cook, Stuart Rothenberg, very quick. You got something?
No, that's good.
All right, we'll let it go from there. Thank you both. Together again. Trivia time. We asked which governor once surprised homeowners dealing with a devastating flood.